So the numbers around Cristiano Ronaldo's move to Saudi Arabia is crazy. Al Nassr's social media handles have moved from less than 1 million followers to all the way to over 6 million followers on Instagram. Ronaldo's unveiling tickets that they put out in less than 24 hours got sold out. Ronaldo's followers has also increased after that. But literally, is this really the reason why Ronaldo was signed to Saudi Arabia? Is it because the guy is going to make so much money? Yes, Ronaldo has money already. And I don't think he's going to move to a club because of the money he's going to make. And I don't think Saudi Arabia also tries to bring him into their league because they want to get a lot of followers. And also, it's not because they want to make so much money from Ronaldo's unveiling. Those guys already have money. When you take all these things away, what is the real reason why those guys signed Cristiano Ronaldo? This is what we're going to do today. My name is Delali Frank. This is Del Soccer. In today's edition of Explainer, we are going to discuss why Ronaldo is actually moving to Saudi Arabia and why Saudi Arabia will also pay so much money to sign one of the greatest footballers that the world has seen. If it's your first time here, please hit on the subscription button. But without wasting your time, let's go straight into today's video. So within 72 hours that Ronaldo's move to Saudi Arabia was confirmed, the club that Ronaldo is going to play for, social media handles have blown away. Al Nassr has gotten a lot of attention. A lot of people are now looking for how they can watch the Saudi Arabian league. But is that really the reason why Ronaldo will move all the way to Saudi Arabia? And is that really the reason why Saudi Arabia will try to sign Cristiano Ronaldo? I don't think so. A country like Saudi Arabia literally don't need money from Ronaldo's jersey sales. Neither do they need money from the people that are going to watch Cristiano Ronaldo. Because if you look at how much they are charging per head to watch the unveiling of Ronaldo, it's literally 15 Saudi Riyal. That is literally around 40 Ghana cedis, which is literally less than $5 if you ask me. That means that those guys really don't need money in return from Ronaldo, but they need something different. And that is what we are going to do today. It is obvious that the countries in the Gulf and perhaps some of the Arab countries have struggled with reputation. And that is the main reason why they've invested outside their home. That is why they've tried to buy European clubs. That is why they've tried to have investment outside the environment. It is because they are trying everything possible to change how people see them. It is no secret that they've done conscious efforts to do that. And Saudi Arabia is one of the countries that have done that. They've invested in clubs, projects outside their country, trying to change people's perception. And Qatar, as one of the countries, did that, and they did it brilliantly. When they won the bid for the World Cup, and after putting such a brilliant World Cup and letting everybody enjoy what they are capable of doing, and inviting people to come to the country, and now people are living with different perception. Saudi looks at this from afar and feels that no, it is also an opportunity for us to also bring people into our country and do that, change the public perception. As of now, they can't host the next World Cup, obviously. The immediate thing that they can do is to try and bring in a player like Cristiano Ronaldo. This is because Ronaldo is free. It's easy to convince Ronaldo to move outside Europe because he has played in Europe for a while. And for Saudi, what is in for them is the reputation change. Ronaldo is a player that when he comes to you, he comes with a lot of attention. That's one thing about Ronaldo. Maybe that's what Ronaldo has that Messi. I don't want to start any Messi Ronaldo war, but literally, Ronaldo is a PR guy. He's that kind of guy that comes to you and brings a lot of attention to you. And at this moment, that's what Saudi Arabia needs. They need that public eye. They need one player who comes in and maybe can do a similar job like hosting the World Cup. The guys in Saudi Arabia saw Qatar when they hosted the World Cup. And I understand that they literally even wanted to co-host the World Cup with Qatar, which was not possible. But the easiest and the immediate thing they can do is to bring in Cristiano Ronaldo, who can help them work towards reputation change. Because when Ronaldo comes to your league or comes into your country, literally in the next 2 years, Ronaldo is going to live in Saudi Arabia. He's going to live there with his wife, who is also very famous on social media, with his family, who are also so famous on social media. And then the press. The press that will follow Ronaldo because they want good and bad news about him, and then the football fans. You are not going to get people that will travel from their country just because they want to watch Cristiano Ronaldo. And that is an easy way to quickly attract people to your country and change the public perception. I just call it sports washing. The Europeans call it sports washing, but you can't literally even go directly and call it sports washing because what they're also doing is that they have public a perception. The public have a perception about them, and they're making conscious efforts to change it. You can't literally fault them. So first of all, I think they're working on reputation change, and the easiest way to do that is to bring in a player as huge as Ronaldo, and it's very good. The next thing that they want to do is move towards hosting the World Cup. As of now, Saudi Arabia have not made an official bid to host the World Cup, but based on grounds conversations, based on other things that I saw with my eyes, it is very possible that these guys will move towards hosting the next World Cup. Not literally the next World Cup, but the 2030 World Cup. They've not made an official bid, but there's been conversation around that they want to co-host it with Egypt, which is very possible. And what's the best way to do that? The best way to do that is to bring in a player like Cristiano Ronaldo because Qatar used a blueprint that everybody can literally use. Qatar had Zinedine Zidane as the ambassador when they officially bid for the World Cup in 2010. And then they moved on by using football legends. Qatar did it and they can easily follow that move by using football legends. And there's no way you can get a top player like Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldo instantly and immediately becomes a brand ambassador for Saudi Arabia and everything that they are going to do in the next few years. If they make a conscious move to bid for the next World Cup, they have Ronaldo at their hand. Even if Ronaldo's contract expires and decides not to stay in Saudi Arabia again, they still have that relationship with Ronaldo, and it will be easier for them to move to him to lead a move to win the bid. Trust me, if Ronaldo is leading a bid for Saudi Arabia to host the World Cup, it is going to take a lot for you to take it away from them. And I think it's also part of the move. Because if you look at Saudi Arabia, the next major tournament that is coming to Saudi Arabia is the 2027 Asian Cup. They are literally going to host it. They're going to be confirmed as the sole host because they were bidding it with India and then India stepped down. Literally, Saudi Arabia is going to host the 2027 Asian Cup. That is 2 years or literally 3 years before the 2030 World Cup. Qatar did a similar thing, hosted some few major tournaments before the World Cup. At that time, I believe that at that time, Qatar might have won the bid if they really want to do it. And having Ronaldo around is very important. So first, they are working on reputation change, and two, I believe is a strategy towards hosting the 2030 World Cup or bidding for the 2030 World Cup, and it's very good. The next thing that I feel they are doing is investment in their league. One thing a lot of people don't know is that all the countries in the Gulf, like Qatar, Jordan, Oman, Saudi Arabia has perhaps the most competitive football team, literally a nation. I mean, because they beat Argentina. They didn't beat Argentina because Argentina were bad. Saudi Arabia were also good. They have the most population, and if you ask me, they have the most competitive league. However, players don't move there as compared to Qatar and China and the MLS. So bringing in Cristiano Ronaldo, a player who is getting to 40 years but still can score 10 to 20 goals per season, now they are drawing the attention of the other people that hey, you can come here and come and play your football. Because there's been players like Idon Igalo who has been in Saudi Arabia, there's been Edda of Portugal who was also in Saudi Arabia. There are some few players in Saudi Arabia, but we don't hear of them. We only hear about Qatar. But the Qatari league itself is not really patronized domestically because the people in Qatar themselves, they don't really watch football as compared to Saudi Arabia. In as much as the Qatar 2022 happened in Qatar, if you are looking for people that enjoyed the World Cup, is the guys in Saudi Arabia. So it means that those guys already love football, and for their league, this is a big win for them. Some of their fans believe that Ronaldo coming into that country is not only for Al Nassr, but it's a big win for the entire nation and for the entire league. Now, clubs in Saudi Arabia, they have the money, obviously. Now they can move to players, young players, they can move to players at their peak, and they can convince them to come and play because there's Ronaldo. You can't downplay that about Ronaldo. Because there's Ronaldo, players will now move to their league. And also, eyeballs. When Ronaldo moved to the Serie A, back then, Super Sports were not showing the Serie A, but they went for the right and started showing it. Now, Bein Sports, one of the leading topmost brands, broadcasters in the Gulf, in the Arab world, will now be telecasting a lot of matches, and a lot of people will now be looking for best ways to watch Cristiano Ronaldo. And as a result of that, there will be eyeballs and attention on them. Now, the Saudi Arabian League moves from maybe a category C or D all the way to B. And now maybe we're competing with the leagues like the Portuguese league or any other league that you can think of apart from the ones in Europe. So for me, also is a big win for the league. Apart from the reputation and their strategic attention and direction towards the 2030 World Cup, it's also a big win for their league. Because Saudi Arabia, they don't need money. Like literally, they don't need money from Ronaldo's ticket sales. They don't need money from match venue sales. They don't need money from Ronaldo jersey sales. They don't need any money. A country that has enough money to go and buy clubs outside their country, they don't need money from Ronaldo. They don't need those small money that Ronaldo be giving them. What they need is bigger than just money. And I think that is what Ronaldo gives them. That reputation, that public eye, that attention. And for Ronaldo, why do you think Ronaldo will go to Saudi instead of any other country? Because you remember that Ronaldo was initially approached by a Saudi Arabian club and he did not show any interest. He stated that he loves United and he wants to stay. What made him change his mind? I was at the World Cup. If Ronaldo watched the love he had in Qatar, the attention he had, and the fact that he has played in so many countries, and now a club in Saudi Arabia is knocking at his door, he will easily move to Saudi Arabia because those guys love Ronaldo. Ronaldo have not moved outside Europe for a while, and he has not experienced the kind of love people outside Europe have for him. At least Messi plays for PSG, a club that is owned by Qatar, like so he knows a bit about Qatar and how they love him. But for Ronaldo, he has never had any relationship with something related to the Gulf, like the Asian world. What he saw in Qatar, it will be easier for a club in Saudi Arabia to convince him as compared to a club in US. Because Ronaldo has been to US and he knows the people in US and the love they have for him. Ronaldo has seen Saudi Arabia. I'm sure they've sold these ideas to Ronaldo, and now they've made him understand that hey, the people in Saudi Arabia love you, and the love they have for you is crazy. And for Ronaldo, you look at this and say, why not? Let me make a move. Ronaldo loves PR, loves attention. Imagine Saudi Arabia going to bid for the World Cup, and Ronaldo is the ambassador. It's something that Ronaldo would love to do. Like Ronaldo loves making names, making history, and being the one that is most talked about. If he goes to MLS, players like Ibrahimovic has been there, Higuain has been there. Like players have been to, what I mean. Like players have been to the MLS, and it's no news. But if he goes to Saudi Arabia, he becomes one of the biggest and the greatest players to ever play in the Saudi Arabian league. And his name will always be attached to that. So for me, I think that is why Ronaldo will not go to the MLS and decided to go to Saudi Arabia. For Saudi Arabia, they don't need Ronaldo's money. I've told you. They don't need Ronaldo's money. They don't need money from Ronaldo's ticket sales. They don't need money from Ronaldo's jersey sales. What they need is more than money. They need good image. They need a direct ambassador, someone who can lead the countries image because they've invested outside Europe but still don't get reputation. Qatar is a classic example. Qatar have invested outside Europe, and even when they were hosting the World Cup, they still face publics, like they still face challenges from human rights activists and all that. And for Saudi, the best way to do this is to now invest in our own, bring the attention to our country, invite people to come and join us and see what happens. So these are the reasons why I think Ronaldo is going to Saudi Arabia and why Saudi Arabia will break the bank to sign Cristiano Ronaldo. My name is Delali Frank. This is Explainer on Dell Soccer. Until we meet again, bye bye for now.